Welcome to St. Augustine this evening, the Mike Davis Show. And boy, do we have a show here for you tonight. It is going to be really, really fun. They're returning guests.
Awesome.
They're on a great trip coming up, and you guys are going to have fun. One of these guys is really, really cool, and the other one's really great, too. So, yeah, you're going to love this.
Wait, which is which?
I'll let you guys decide. You guys can vote on it, which one's cool and which one's great. So I got my own opinions, but... Amanda's here with me tonight. Amanda, welcome back.
I am. Thank you. Hi, everybody.
So amazing to have you for more than one show at a time.
Oh, it's so nice.
No showers, no future nephew, niece
showers,
coming in,
no baby showers,
and no sicknesses or illnesses this week.
Not yet.
First time all summer.
Oh, shut up.
It's the first time all summer.
Take a couple of weeks off.
Yeah, I know. That was just last week.
Uh-huh.
All right, let's thank our sponsors, Abear Kresge and Associates. They're a local full-service CPA firm with a team of skilled professionals dedicated to providing top-level service in the areas of tax compliance, planning for businesses, individuals, estates, and trusts. They can also do audits, reviews, and other accounting services. They can do business evaluations, forensic analysis, and litigation support. Call Bill Abear or Ken Kresge at 904-460-0747 or go online at abearkresgecpa.com. They're great people. They do work for me as well, and I trust them.
Awesome. Now, if you don't have dinner plans tonight, join the Tringali family for dinner. You can head over to Carmelo's Pizzeria. They were voted best pizza 9 years in a row. They have New York-style brick oven pizza. They also serve salads, subs, wings, and more. Or you could head down to 123 Burger House. They have been voted best burger in 3 years running. They also have chicken, wings, salads, authentic wood-fired pizza, and ice cream for dessert. Both restaurants offer dine-in, takeout, or delivery through Bite Squad and Grubhub. So join the Tringali family for dinner tonight. Now, you could also head down to Bozard Ford Lincoln. That's where my husband's car is right now. Their goal is to make sure your time and experience buying a car is stress-free, fun, and enjoyable. Bozard is a family-owned Ford dealership that has been in business since 1949. Bozard Ford Lincoln has been the recipient of numerous dealer awards, including being ranked #1 automotive dealership in the nation by Dealer Rater. Bozard Ford has also won back-to-back President's Awards, which is the highest honor given by Ford Motor Company. Check them out today online at bozardford.com or head down there, say hi to Bo and Letty for us, and have a Jiffy Burger.
All right, and Salomon Services, there's just a few weeks left. If you have somebody that's young, middle school, high school, or college that's trying to get in shape for next season, they can still do that. And if you're a bit older like me, and I do mean a bit, you can train just anytime. Just give them a call. Salomon Services, they've got a phenomenal state-of-the-art facility with both indoor and outdoor turf areas, and all of their coaches are certified through the National Strength and Conditioning Association. Give them a call. Great groups. I will be there in the morning. Don't let that dissuade you. There are people there that do get in shape besides me. So give them a call. Salomon Services, great folks, good friends, longtime sponsors, love them all.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of good friends,
yes,
I have Bert Tavary in here with me tonight. I've been on several surf trips with Bert, but Bert is here because once again, you're going on a doctor's mission trip to El Salvador.
Exactly.
But you brought the man.
The man.
You brought the man
The
who
showman.
leads this mission. How did this man get you involved in this?
The general. The general, Todd Bourgeois.
Oh, yeah?
He was our neighbor on 4th Street. And this is something he did many years with physical therapist. And we were visiting, and I said, do you ever have a dentist go along? And he said, right away, sure, that'd be great. And so we planned it. And it's this is the 3rd year for me going. So, yeah, it's a good thing.
And I saved the best looking guy in studio for last. Todd Bourgeois.
Yeah.
Much better looking than Bert and I.
No, come on now.
Younger.
Come on.
Got a voice that I wish I had for radio. Oh my gosh. I could do voiceovers and get sued all the time if I had your voice. How are you doing, Todd? And welcome back.
Fantastic. Thanks for having us, man. I really do appreciate your time.
And Bert's been on 3 trips, but how many trips have you been on? And,
This will be number 11, if I'm not mistaken. 11 or 12.
okay.
I started back when I finished my fellowship. I was doing a fellowship in manual orthopedics at the University of St. Augustine, and I just kind of had a calling because I went to a trip in Peru with a kind of a mission-based trip, and we were kind of stuck in the inner city for 2 weeks, and we just all kind of were packed into this little dormitory place. But before that, I went on a surf trip, of course, because I went to Peru. I wanted to go get those good lefts.
Yep.
And when I was there, I saw those rural people, you know, like on the coastal areas, and I said, man, I really hope I get to treat and take care of these guys too. And we didn't on that trip. So when I came back and I finished my fellowship, which is, you know, mad chaos, I said, I was plowing a field because I'm a farm boy from Louisiana, and I was on the tractor, and it just hit me. I said, I need to call surf camps or surf lodges and see if they'll house us, and I'll just throw a team together and let's go do it. You know, no strings attached, no team name, just us, surfers. Let's go do some good things.
Yep.
Sure enough, it worked out. We went to Nicaragua, we went to Costa Rica, then we went to Ecuador, and then we found the spot. Some guys here local introduced me to a spot in El Salvador, the Mazada area. And ever since then, we've been going back, and it's been fantastic.
So how many years have you gone there? And
this will be our 9th year.
9th year.
Yeah.
So that really, once you went, you're like, okay, there's a big need there.
Yeah. We you know have pretty much focused on this whole Easter side. We've put a team together. The first trip that Bert came on, we went to the other side. We went to Las Flores area, which is kind of more the west side. That was very remote, very raw. We couldn't even find power for Bert's equipment to work. And it's, you know, it's a developing country though. They are doing much better, exponentially different country from the time I started going there till now. Yeah. But, you know, there's still people out there that are living in shacks and, you know, don't have access to what we have access to on a regular basis. So, you know, there's still need for us to get down there, do what we can, provide that service.
When I leave later this week for a Christian surfer trip to that same area, that West Coast area.
Yeah.
And, you know, you kind of, it's one of those, if you get to go, and I feel like I've been blessed enough to go on quite a few surf trips down to Costa Rica and other places. And when you see the standard of living difference between the United States and you see how happy everyone is and how helpful everyone is. I mean, it's just, I tell the story about having a flat tire rolling into this little town. And one of our good friends that we had known for years down there saw that we had a flat tire, pulled over in a place where I could change it. Before I could get out of the driver's side door, I heard the hatchback open. I heard the tire out of the back. And I'm like, Harry, what are you doing? I'm going to change the tire for you. I said, Harry, we'll take care of this. He had 3 lug nuts off before he told me no, he was going to do it, right? I mean, it was that quick. He had the thing changed. I felt like I had a NASCAR team. Right? It was a one-man NASCAR team. Changed the tire. I said, Harry, can I pay you something? No, you're my friend. Perfect. And that's just I mean, that's the way that people are down there. But if you drive by the houses and you see no AC in the majority of the houses, some of them don't have electricity, some of them don't have indoor plumbing. Yep. It's just a stark contrast to what we are used to every day and what we would complain and bitch about if we didn't have it every single day. It's
pretty awesome. I mean, if I may, one of the reasons that I keep going, you know, and keep putting these trips on is, don't get me wrong, I really enjoy serving the people there because, you know, they need it. But again, they're happy, they're joyous, they have a different outlook in life. I do it, majority of the reason why I do it is because of the people coming on the trips. And that's how we've kind of coined it. Madison's husband, Cody, he's an ex-pro wakeboarder, and he coined it. He wrote an article in a wakeboarding magazine, and he called them stoke trips. And the way he phrased it, you know, stoke, surfers are stoking, but he reversed it to the stoking the fire. So when you bring these medical providers or just people in general, and you see that enlightening experience, and you kind of go back to the roots of why you became the medical provider you are or the person that you are, and you get a stoke of that fire, right? You just get that fire back lit, and everybody's, you know, back charging again whenever you come back.
So I'm a contractor. It's a little different world than what you guys in the dock field work, right? But someone shows up. No one asks if they have insurance.
No.
No one asks if you're going to pay.
No.
Right? And at the end of the day, you all go home and you help people. Yes. They left you in a better situation than when they came to you, which is what medicine was in the very beginning of all.
That's the idea.
Before all this bureaucracy got a hold of it.
Yes, sir. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, we do what we can in the medical system and it works. Thank God we have it. Yeah. There's no question about it. I'm not, you know, but there is something very enlightening and just joyous and just wholesome about looking at someone, seeing what it is that they need, doing what you can for them, and everybody walks away with a smile on their face. And that's your payment. You get this stoke. They get a stoke. It's all good.
So how many days are you guys usually down there?
We usually do a week. Again, it's tough, you know, to organize that. And, you know, we have our surfer community on the inside that helps us connect with all the different communities that we go to on a daily, you know. Each day we usually go to somewhere different.
But they know you're coming.
They do know we're coming.
They know, and they got patients lined up for you every day.
And that is the trick. It's having the people ahead of time kind of pioneer for you or scout out, to get people to come to the locations that we're going to be.
And then, so you start, I would say fairly early in the morning, right? What time?
No, sir. We get that surf session in early in the morning, about 5 a.m. No, we'll do a 5 a.m. surf sesh, wake up, get her, juices flowing. You can work out, kind of get moving. Because we want to take care of ourselves too. Because it is hot. It is a sweaty, long day.
Yes.
I tell you, I mean, it is different. I mean, your brain is basically cooking because you're working so hard. There's so many people lined up. It sometimes gets frustrating and chaotic. But again, you're all there for the right purpose. But we fuel ourselves, fuel our mind, get our bodies right, ate a good breakfast with each other and the team, and we pack our gear up and go out. And we treat whatever the day is going to give us. We go for it. Yeah.
So, and do you usually get an evening surf session, or are you working all the way up to dark?
It all depends on what location we go to.
Yeah.
Sometimes we'll work, into the dark, and sometimes we might wrap it up and finish up a little community early, and we can go back and, maybe jump in the water or do another workout and hang out with each other.
You use the same driver, same guide every year? Or do you guys, or you've been there so many times you just know where to go now?
Yeah, we actually rent our own vehicles per se, and we get these little manual shift banger trucks and van. We got a rack on the back. We stack our equipment. It looks like Beverly Hillbillies going down the road. It's so awesome.
That's what Bert looks like when he goes surfing every day. He gets so much stuff on his car.
Piled up.
Yeah. We got wheelchairs, walkers, treatment tables, just going down the road.
It's piled up.
So how many like wheelchairs will you take down there and not bring back? Just leave down?
We bring as much as we can. Again, that is the what we're here today to ask for, is to try to get this equipment. And
so you've got a link.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been showing the link?
They're already in the comments. I can show them on the stream as well.
Okay.
Right. And
that's awesome.
And that's what we're trying to do is offset the cost of getting this equipment out there. It's not to pay for the equipment. We've been lucky that people donate these things over time. By the way, if anybody has a wheelchair or walker to donate, we'd take that from you. But we pack that up and we bring that with us, and to pay for that to get onto the plane to get to El Salvador is the most challenging aspect of this whole trip.
Well, we were talking about that because I was reading my airline email this morning about 2 bags.
Yeah.
And I remembered you guys coming in, and I thought, God, they have a lot of equipment. They take all this. And I remember you telling me how you pack it up, and it's an ordeal getting it to the airport, and then you got to get it off the car, and then you got to get through. But you guys have a system. And Bert, do you want to tell them what the system is? How you guys get through this 2-bag limit at the airport?
Primarily, we have Todd distract whoever's in the way of it. Yeah. And then the 2 times I've been before this year, there's angels on earth.
No question.
Behind the scene, behind the back, will be throwing things on the conveyor belt as fast as they can. Mm-hmm. While Todd distracts the person who doesn't want it to happen. That's primarily the 2 times I've done it. And you find that person that's just really nice and says, just keep bringing it. Keep putting the wheelchairs on. Last year we had 5 wheelchairs and or 6, and the lady just kept going and putting the tag on them, even though we didn't pay for those. They came with it. She was giving them to us. So, and then we got the big bags full of walkers and canes and all that, and try to put them on the conveyor belt.
Yeah. And then they ended up letting us. They let us all like check one ourselves. They start to realize what this is all about, and then you just start, smiling and begging.
He tries to get everybody to check 1 extra bag at least each, and then we just go from there. And once the people, so far, when they see what's happening, there's always some saint behind there that's got the good thing going. It says, put it on the conveyor. They do. They start pushing it down.
But I believe in the basic goodness and humanity of people. And, it's got to be some of them, you got to have the look on her face like, no, as you're walking up there. Yeah. And then when you put Todd on them, and then Todd begins to explain how this is going to work and what this is for. He does. Right before you know it, they're like, well, can I give you a free flight time?
Yeah.
I know.
We're rolling
up that string.
We roll up with a pile of stuff.
Yeah.
It's 2 trucks.
Yeah.
3 trucks full.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, and I think it's absolutely wonderful. And I think it's great that, and I'm a firm believer God puts people in your life every single day. And when you run into that right check-in person, right, that's God putting that person there. And they woke up that day, they didn't know that they were going to get to help people in a foreign country. Mm-hmm. They just thought, I'm going to go to work today. I'm going to get harassed a little bit today. And then I'm going to go home at the end of the day. on a day like that, they've got to feel great when they walk home at the end of the day knowing, you know what? I did the right thing today. I took care of people when they showed up, and I did the right thing.
That's right.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and that's what it's all about. So, how many people a day, you know, it kind of changes a little bit. Is like 10, 20, 30, 40 people you're
Oh no,
helping every day?
we get up in the hundreds, and it all
Okay.
depends on the location
Yes.
and our capacity of the team. You know, sometimes things happen. You know, half your team gets sick, and
Yeah.
you know that happened in Costa Rica, where it was, I think 21 out of 24 of us got sick. You know, so it's just some of those things happen. But typically, we're looking at anywhere at 100 to 200 folks that we can, you know, capacity pull through a certain location. You know, Bert is just doing fantastic work.
Well,
in the
Bert
chair.
does that about like from 8 a.m. to noon at his dentistry. So if like he's not doing 100 patients, that's like easy for him.
No,
8 to
no, I
noon.
mean, he does quality work. It's
When I've
been,
ever worked 8 to noon.
Well, you got another 200 in the afternoon, and then you come back after dinner, do a couple hundred more.
Yeah, it's busy. And Aaron was here a couple weeks ago visiting Todd, and he already told me they're lining up.
yeah,
So
Ed
we're-
Orn is our inside guy in El Salvador. He's local. He's El Salvadorian, and he's the, you know, the cloth that makes all this work. He's the guy. So
He's a great guy.
yeah.
All right. So how many boards you taking down there?
Well, we got friends down there now. We've actually left boards behind, and so we can
Nice.
kind of make things work too. I usually like to take, you know, my favorite board with me, kind of pack it in there, which is great because then you can stuff all your clothes, which some airlines let you do this, sometimes don't. But I just put a bunch of donated clothes in there too, and you know, get your board there safe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a big.
Yeah.
People that are not surfers, one, don't understand what they used to charge you for a board.
Oh wow.
The board used to cost more than the airline ticket.
Absolutely.
And then when you're sitting on the plane and you're watching them unload your board, and they just pick it up and drop it on the tail of the nose, and you're like, oh man, oh no, what's that going to be like when I get there? And you're working through that, and yeah, there's all kinds of cheats to get boards protected, and then sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
I know it because they'll you know, I mean, if they open your bag and they see a bunch of clothes in there, and they're like, this is your clothes, you need to pay extra for it, but then put on that little smiley face again and go, no, this is all donated stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes it works.
Yeah.
And I'm the guy that if I'm down there and I've got clothes that, you know, I'm blessed. I don't. If you see a need, you're like, just take it.
Yeah.
It will do you better on somebody who doesn't have something versus
Absolutely.
sitting in my drawer and I wear it once or twice a year. It just doesn't make any sense.
That's right.
It's just like, here, it's yours. I'm good. I'm okay.
That's
So,
right.
Yeah.
As long as they don't take my cowboy boots, I'm good to go.
What kind of cowboy boots?
Don't get those area-eyed.
What kind of cowboy boots?
Oh, I'm an area guy. So.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's all right. Pair of jeans, cowboy boots, we go to work. Let's get it.
I'm looking at his flip flops right
Hey,
now.
I
Just so
know.
y'all know,
I know I'm
he
gonna have
wears
them
flip
on.
flops.
I really
Yes.
do.
Hey,
Today,
Todd can climb a mountain with cowboy boots on. That's why when we came back the first year, I said, "Where do you get those boots?" So he sent me. I bought a pair of them.
Yeah.
That's right.
They're good boots.
Emulate
I have
success.
two pairs.
They're
good
great boots.
That's
Yeah,
right.
they're awesome
That's
boots.
right. You got a pair.
I
remember
do
that
have a pair.
now.
I wear those. I love them.
No, they're absolutely awesome boots. So you grew up in Louisiana, not a big surf spot. So did you learn to surf in Louisiana too?
Yeah, no, I mean, I had a, you know, water bug type mentality growing up out there in the bayous. I was always playing around in there, whether, you know, we're hunting, fishing, chasing gators, or just, you know, wakeboarding behind my brothers, you know, outboard center console. And then I came out to the ocean, into the East Coast for grad school.
Mhm.
And then that's where I started surfing and kite surfing and doing all that stuff. And then, you know, ocean was kind of had me wrapped up from that point on. Yeah, it's been phenomenal because of the community that I've met to be able to, you know, do things like this. I mean, what a great community, what a great network of people, because it's so worldwide. And it really meshes well with my background and just, you know, kind of more rural style, you know, simple lifestyles, all that stuff. It just boom, right on.
So plug for yourself here in town. Where do you work here in town?
Well, I teach part-time I used to be full-time with the University of St. Augustine. Now I'm part-time with them, and I'm doing, you know, concierge, PT work, fitness training, all that good stuff. I got my hands in a lot of things, building a platform. We're doing all kind of different health and wellness space, because I do have a PhD, believe it or not, in health and health psychology. So I'm kind of bridging the gap, building a bunch
So
of
you're
stuff.
the first person from Louisiana to have a PhD.
I wouldn't say that at all, but it would be an honor.
It's almost football season. That's why. It's almost football season. We're within 30 some days, and we're counting, and we can't wait. So
Well,
yes.
it goes down, that's for sure.
Yeah. Oh no, Bert and I have a very good friend who all questions revolve around LSU.
LSU football.
Do you guys know who holds the record?
He's got it all.
And he'll go down and you're like, it's just somebody from LSU. Just tell us who it is.
Tell us who it is.
Yeah, just tell us who it is.
It's funny.
That runs through some veins down there. I tell you what, man.
It is-
LSU football.
I'm a big Florida State fan, and I'm just so happy for them that they don't have to play us this year.
That's great.
It's the last couple of years have not been nice to LSU for that game. So,
Yeah.
but in football, the nice thing is it all rolls back around at some point in time.
Yeah.
Everybody gets somebody else. So,
Yeah. People grow.
so you need money for this. How many? And because I think last year we raised you some money.
Yeah.
We're going to try to do the same thing again this year for you. So how much money do you need besides as much as you can get, which is typically when you go do volunteer work, as much as you can get, you can spend.
Yeah, obviously it's difficult. But like I said, when you walk up, it's a show. You don't know if it's gonna all go through. One time we've got it all through for free, which was insane. But typically we're paying for the baggage itself as well as the oversizing our weight, because these are big old Santa Claus sacks full of equipment and gear. And we typically expect to spend anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000 on just getting it on the plane. So that's kind of a target. We put it at $1,500 to try to offset those costs. And again, we're not looking to make a bunch of money, because we're not using these expenses to help us per se as providers to get out there. That's all. The individual provider is taking time off of work, spending the money on their flights, spending the money on the stay, spending the money on their food. They're all doing their own independent thing. This here, fundraising is specifically for equipment to get to these people we're trying to serve, not for us.
And that's the cool thing about what y'all are doing is that you're taking your own time. It's on your dime to buy the airline flight. You're paying for accommodations. You're paying for. You're doing all that, and then when you get there, you're still working.
Yes, sir.
And like I said, it's hot when you work in that environment, and it's that kind of heat and that kind of. I mean, it's a little worse. I mean, it's been hot out here, but it's a little worse when you get down there because it's a full on. It doesn't stop, and it is oppressive in that heat.
It is intense. We got some hydration packages and all that stuff going. Medical providers will do the best we can to take care of each other too. But man, every now and then you have to say, hey, you need to go get some water. Like you're soaking wet. Like you got to go. Bert, that dude right there is an animal. I ain't never seen somebody work so hard, man. That guy will grind, and I'm like, dude, he's so cool. He's so awesome. I'm like, Bert, you want to take a break, man? No. Good to go.
There's no quitting him. Like I said, until he gets to 400 patients a day, he doesn't feel like he's worked a good day.
I wish. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they'll still be lining up when the day's over.
They do. They will line up for Bert.
That's the hardest part.
So what's the hardest thing for you dentist-wise? Now, you can't take everything with you. So what do you mostly treat as a dentist, and what are the things that are like the hardest to treat as a dentist?
No, we're bringing everything we need to do restorations. Only no extractions. Only restorations all the way around, and I have a portable dental unit, like a military unit that runs off of power, and
it's super cool.
And we try to have no compromises, same as if we were here. It's a lot harder because it's all manual. The switches are on and off. But yeah, we set up. I'm bringing all the stuff. I get donations from the suppliers, some stuff, and Dr. Mickey Lath, my associate, he donates as much as he can. I usually snag the lights and things like that, and he lets me do it. We don't stop. It's everything we need. I'll bring back stuff.
And you had an assistant last year who was really good, but you're bringing a brand new assistant this year.
Yeah, I'm bringing my future son-in-law Matt this year, who's an ICU nurse at Baptist South, and he's going to be practicing with me in the next week. We'll be practicing how to do it, but
I'm not coming over. No, you invited me for a practice session.
Yeah, we need a patient.
Amanda over, but I'm not going over for the practice session with Matt.
We'll do something for you. No, it's just practicing it. The mechanics of it. It's complex, really.
It is pretty phenomenal. I gotta say, I seen some guys, the people walk up and they literally have 1, 2, 3 teeth left, and I'm like, Bert, what? Wow. And then they walk off and they're so stoked. Their tooth looks so much, they're not in pain. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, that was really cool. Like, that person needed some help for sure.
We have to, we have to just pick the worst stuff really sometimes, because it's every tooth.
Every tooth.
But there's so many people waiting in line. You just kind of respect that.
It is, when you had a lot of these people, is this the first time they've ever had dental care?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many times I'll be bringing a bunch of toothbrushes and stuff like that,
Mhm.
and a lot of times they never even seen one.
Yeah.
So it's
Wow.
not that bad in La Libertad. The first place we went
Yeah.
was in the jungle, and it was rural,
Very rural.
and
A lot more rough.
yeah, it was a lot rougher.
Yeah.
And a lot of those people, they never seen a toothbrush, but we show it to them. We show them to do it, but mostly we're busy doing the fillings and stuff.
Mhm.
And people are so nice.
Mm-hmm.
They're so thankful. The most
Yeah.
unbelievable people.
Mm-hmm.
So how does a lot like your Novocaine and that stuff? How well does that stuff travel? Is it?
Well, one thing I've been lucky with, I was thinking about this since last year, is that so far we've gone right through.
Yep.
I mean, it's all packaged, like it's sealed off and everything, but we're bringing the anesthetic, the syringes, and I'm sterilizing it every night, So I have a supply of syringes and, the needles and all that stuff that goes with it and the anesthetic.
Yep.
And, we're hauling it all down there. And so it's everything we do here, but down there.
Right.
Yeah. And customs down there doesn't give you a hard. I mean, they're pretty good. Immigration customs.
They've been pretty good, and I think that's kind of the strategy we're doing. Once we had a process where we put on a cargo ship, send it out, and then that's where customs really held us up. They held it for a week before we could even get it. So I quit doing that because that was a super bad experience. I mean, it was kind of one of those situations where they wanted more money, because they thought we were going to sell it. Obviously, it's just the way the countries work.
Mm-hmm.
What are these gringos bringing on all this equipment? They're obviously going to make money on this. We want our cut. Blah blah blah. Well, what we do, because of the way we do it now, which is obviously challenging, but at the same time, we walk off with it, and then customs usually go, "Oh, this is you guys are coming with this. It's clear you're here to help serve people," and they just kind of push you on through because you're with the equipment. You can talk to them. And
Because here,
Mhm.
you've got the accent. You sound like Matthew McConaughey. I'm not sure it plays. I mean, like all of a sudden, all the things that make
All
you
my
like
sounds.
Todd, the special guy. You get down there and you don't speak
Go.
Espanol as well, and you're
Go.
like, oh, so this is what it's like to live like Bert and Mike. This is what it's like to live like Bert and Mike. Now I know
Oh, man.
what they go through every day back in the States. They just don't have the advantage.
Oh,
Well,
man.
the amazing thing, both times I've been down there, the second or third day, they recognize us, like when we're surfing in the water,
Yep.
and set us up.
Yeah.
They're so nice and thankful.
They do.
And they recognize that
The
you're doing
locals,
things
yeah,
for
they
people.
start to-
But as far as the legal thing, I just think it's lucky.
Yeah.
Because I have it in a suitcase. It says medical
Mhm.
equipment on it. And they've let it slide through.
Yeah.
So we're hoping it happens again.
How many people you got going this time?
About 13 of us now.
About 13.
Yeah.
Okay.
13 and 14 was what we'll cap out at. And it's a good, solid team. It's a strong team. We've got, more medical people than we've ever had on this trip. We've got a foot surgeon from up north. We've got from Colorado. We've got another ER nurse. We have a Matt, who's also an ER nurse. We've got a handful of physical therapists and even an OT coming. I've brought over 20 people before. This is a smaller group per se.
Yeah.
However, it's a powerful team. We've got a really experienced, good team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm really stoked about it.
And you do this once a year?
Once a year, I'd love to do more. But typically August is my flow rate, we can get things turned around. And this, like I've mentioned before, this does not happen unless you have a connection to the community already. Like I could not put this on if it wasn't for Edon, if it wasn't for someone who's already there that can make the connections for us to plan a trip ahead of time. Because, I've experienced it. I've showed up, we're here, this is great. And then crickets, we have like 2 or 3 people show up because they have no idea who we are or what we're doing. They're scared of you both. Most of we went to the west side. They were a bit terrified of us. They didn't know what we were doing there. It took 3 or 4
Well,
days.
it scares me too some days. And
Yeah.
I'm just going to say that.
Right. I mean,
Thanks for the plug. I needed
When he's
that.
paddling for a wave, I'm not getting in his way. I'm like moving out. That's your wave, Bert. You go
that is
ahead,
true
buddy.
for sure. I like that one.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just really cool.
Yeah.
And I would love to do more. We are actually kind of looking at maybe trying to get one lined up. This is kind of a surf and serve theme, not to plug or anything, but we are looking at potentially doing like a spear and serve with a good friend of mine, Bill Miller, who's tied into an island in the Bahamas. So we might go with a smaller group, pioneer it, treat these island folk that don't really have a lot of access. They really need, dentist work. When you go there, there's not much going on in their mouth. But we'll Well,
no. And I think
there's a
that's
lot
something
going.
people don't understand about the Bahamas, right? If you get injured in the Bahamas, it's like 3 to 4 hours to
Very
medical
difficult.
care. If you're lucky, right? So if you have a heart attack,
Yeah.
that initial care in the first 30 minutes can save your life. And if no one knows how to do it,
Wow.
you're still 3 to 4 hours till you get to a hospital in the United States.
I can't believe you brought that up because that's really what kind of stoked our like initiative to like get this done is that the good friend he had there, she passed away from a heart attack. Just was working at a restaurant and then gone. So he's like, dude, I want to give back. Like, can we do this, Todd? Like, let's go. And it's like, yes, sir, we can. Like, let's go get it.
Well, we went to Hopetown, Mark Bailey. David Slimp was on the trip doing training. Wendy Lance, there was another nurse with us as well. And they had done some training.
Yeah.
Right. So we're there over the weekend. They do some CPR training, some first aid training, recognizing strokes and heart attacks.
Mm-hmm.
We leave Sunday. Before we have landed back in the States, somebody had an event.
Yep.
And one of the people that got trained saved their life and were able to provide enough care for them so that by the time they got to the hospital, they were okay. Had they not done the training that weekend, no telling whether or not that person survives.
The irony is Dave Slimp has come with us on a couple trips too.
Yeah.
Slimp is an amazing instructor at CPR. He has rescued plenty of people in his lifetime. I mean, years of experience. But now he's doing it, if you call it retirement, he's teaching people to save lives. And I've heard more than one story of Dave Slimp teaching other people and them saving lives.
So you guys are getting a kick out of this. So I grew up with him. We're about the same age. He was a phenomenal swimmer. He was a phenomenal barefoot water skier. I mean, just a waterman and a half through all these different water things. I have joked with him for years. I said, when I see Laird Hamilton in pajamas, he is wearing David Slimp pajamas. So I've told him forever that Laird Hamilton wears David Slimp pajamas.
I'm going to remember that one.
I tell you, that is 100% the truth that he wears those. David does so much stuff, and he's such a good guy, and he's such a even kill level kind of guy to go travel with, and everything's fine. If David's around, you're like, well, if I get really hurt, David's here.
Exactly.
Right? I'm just not going to worry about it.
I'm glad I'm not the only one because if there's something rad is going on and Dave's around, I'm like, we're good to go.
Yeah.
We're all right.
Yeah. Dave's good. As long as Dave doesn't get hurt, we're okay, right?
If you want, I can make those pajamas happen. There are companies.
There are companies
we
that-
can make those pajamas
David
happen.
Slimp pajamas.
Yeah, we'll send him over to Laird. He won't know what to do. Gabby might like him. Might be a bad thing for Dave. She might be trying to find David after that.
That'd be awesome, man. That'd be so awesome.
Yeah. No, he's just a good person in our community, and I'm glad he's gone with you a couple times because he's a wonderful waterman and just a wonderful person.
Absolutely, yeah, and that's the kind of spirit, like everybody who goes on the trip has a Dave Slimp vibe to them, and it's a really good team. I selfishly get a stoke too because again I do it to get people out there to get them back rekindling, decrease burnout, all that good stuff. But then I'm looking at the team and I see the way people look and behave when we're trying to get out there, and then on the way back I'm just like, you've changed. And I have to plug better, the word is better. Like you look better, your eyes are lit back up. And, that selflessness and materialistic things and all that stuff, you've seen these people smiling, happy, kicking a ball down the street, and the kid has, 400 toys stacked in a room that they don't play with. And then you're just like, wow, like I am enlightened, so.
Well, but I think too, we're built as human beings to help others.
Yeah.
But we live in a society that's so materialistic.
Absolutely.
And we have the ability to live a life that's really guarded where we live in the United States, and we don't have to engage all the time. You can go to work and go home and not be a part of your neighborhood or your community or your family if you don't want to. You can, zone out on TV or the internet or whatever it is.
Right.
But when you go to these countries, none of that stuff's there.
Yeah.
And you really have to, and you realize when you engage with people and you get to know them is when you grow as a person. And you're giving of yourself, things that you have that you've been fortunate enough and blessed with, and you know what, I'm gonna give back with that. I'm gonna give back, and that's where you grow.
Absolutely. It's research based. The psychology of it is a gratitude practice, and giving is great practice. You know what I mean? Like we don't need all this. Give it away. Give some of it away. Give someone else an opportunity. To thrive and enjoy. The things you're enjoying. It's really interesting. It's an interesting psychology to work with, but.
Yeah.
Are we getting donations on the page?
So I'd have to refresh them to see.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
We do have some requests that you do the all right. I tried to remind them.
I want at least $300 or $400 before we're doing the all right. We're getting to do it, but there may be some money in there, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Fee for service. Let's go.
We will hold you here. He will do it. We might get him to. We might get Amanda to bring up one of his speeches, so we'll get that. I saw him the other day talking about it, and it was just a wonderful. I haven't read his book. One of my boys has it. I may have to on that trip. I may have to get him to bring it to work tomorrow, so I can.
I'm with you. I haven't gotten it either, but it's been recommended so many times. They say it's phenomenal. So.
Yeah.
Green lights.
Yeah.
I've read it. Oh yeah.
Did you like it?
Couldn't stop reading it till I got to the end.
Yeah.
Great. He's a great writer. He's just talented.
Yeah.
Does it
And
have
it's about
pictures in it
himself.
for me and Todd so we can understand it?
You know what? You better get somebody to read it to you. There are some pictures in it, but selective.
So
His
nice.
family and stuff.
That is
He's a Texas boy, man, just like me.
pop-ups.
We're all Texas.
Yeah, pop-ups are great. I love those.
Careful. Matthew McConaughey with the pop-up book. I mean,
Yeah.
you're going to get the girls really excited.
He should have put that in there.
Bestseller before it even's written, right? So that's one part of it, right? But kind of the fun part, you guys, you get to go surfing together.
Mhm.
So what are some of the really good kind of surf breaks you've been to? Times kind of adventures out there. I mean, for me, what's fun about surfing with your buddies is watching them do well.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
I mean, I love surfing, but I love watching when all my friends are just carving and having a good time.
Yeah, I mean, you can go on this one and I'll share what I think about it and that. But your experiences the last couple of years, what do you think about that?
Well, I think it's unbelievable. We've been going. Well, we went to Las Flores, which is world class right point break with a sand bottom.
Mhm.
All the other breaks in El Salvador are cobblestone, rocky,
Mm-hmm.
hard to get in and out of. But and then last year, same kind of thing where we did treatment that day right at La Libertad. And that afternoon, we went back. We were invited back. One of the uncles there, came out and told everybody clear them out and clear the lineup. And
It's
we went out by
insane.
ourselves just to recruit,
It's insane.
us, and it was insane. I mean, it was special.
Yeah,
And it happened at Las Flores too, but they recognized it and
yeah.
said, "We're going to give you some waves." Even the Brazilians gave way,
Yeah.
which is
Unheard
strange. It's
Say
a
what?
great place.
Yeah.
Say what?
of. Yeah, they started
Yeah,
supporting
they
us too.
started giving us
Well,
some.
because I mean, we're there,
Yeah.
and in that instance, we actually ended up treating some of the Brazilian, people that were there just traveling, and they saw and they come and got some help, and then boom. And for me, that's actually one of my favorite things
Mhm.
is to see the locals start giving waves to the crew.
Mhm.
They're just like, dale, dale, like you could have totally taken that, but they're like pushing it off to the crew.
Yeah, they're picking the set waves, and
Yeah.
it's a special experience
It's
if you're
really
a
cool.
surfer for sure.
Well, I think as a traveling surfer, when you get to know the locals that way and they'll give you a wave,
hmm
it's a sign of respect for them, but two, it's an acknowledgement that you respected them.
Yeah.
You didn't show up and act like it was your break and try to take their waves, and
Right.
and it takes a while to do that. I mean, if you're a surfer, that doesn't happen in the first 5 minutes you're on the water. That happens after days of treating people with respect. Sometimes years of going back to the same
Yeah.
spot, and then I was like, okay, you can have that wave, right? Where before they'd had 4 guys would have charged it, and like, no, this is not your wave. So.
But Todd's usually the best stand-up paddleboard, best surfer in the water, so they recognize that right away. And he's always going, "I could take those waves, but I'm not going to be selfish." And
Yeah.
surfers can be
See that.
selfish, but they also are very altruistic at times too.
Yeah, they see it.
For that, they see it, they give you some waves.
But I tell you what, it was special that last year when we treated it Punta Rocco, and it was late, like you said, the guy cleared the line, the sun was setting, it was our team, we're all hooting and hollering at each other. It was like a magical, just glow in the water, these nice buttery waves coming through, and we're just peeling down the line of that rock, and I was like, it is insane. And then it gets dark on us, and then we got to get out of this point
Get
break.
up the rock.
And it took us like 30 minutes just to get out of that place.
Well, that's it, right? You're out there. It's so good you don't want to leave.
No, it was
And
great.
in Florida, you just catch a wave and you ride into the sand beach.
No.
Not there.
These any place that someone says rocks or rock bottom or keyhole, man, that's a whole different world getting out of
Oh,
that
yeah.
water.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, I was telling, I was in Wilderness in Puerto Rico in January, and Tim O'Neill was with me. And Tim says, well, here's the keyhole to get out. And if you miss this keyhole, there's a boat down there, and you come in at the boat. If you miss that one, then there's a rock shelf farther down. Well, the current is so bad coming in. I am like, I ain't making the first one. I'm going really fast the second one. I don't know if this is it or not it, because it doesn't look anything like it was described to me. So I get all the way to the end, and now I'm just bumping my butt over the reef going, please don't hit a sea urchin. Please don't hit a sea urchin.
Oh, my gosh.
Please don't hit a sea urchin.
Oh, man, that does not sound
I've come in the jungle down at Wilderness a few times. Get dragged down the point.
I was like, please, no.
Yeah.
Not that. So are you going to stand up paddleboard when you're down there this time, or are you going to surf?
I like to do a mixture. It depends on what, the surf is acting like, really. Again, I left the board over there. Stand-ups are hard to move. But I ride on really short, stand-up. It's like 7'3". It's smaller than a lot of people's surfboards. So.
Well, now so people don't understand, as non-surfers, if you go someplace on a regular basis once a year, you're better off leaving a board down there than trying to take it back and forth the whole time, because you're just
right.
The cost, it gets beat up, all these kind of things. Now, I have had friends that have left the board somewhere for like 5 or 6 years. And they go down there and it's like, it's not the same board. Now it's been sitting in a closet in the jungle.
Yeah, or somebody
for
found
6
it.
years. Yeah.
It's not been used.
It is yellow. It is all right.
Man.
Yeah, you do not want to do that.
Man,
what board are you bringing?
I've got a brand new 7-foot Orion. I think you saw it.
I did.
Twin fin.
Yeah.
And I'm going to bring that down. That's the only board I'm bringing. Just bring one board this time. And then I'm going to pile clothes and stuff all around it, so it'll be at the weight limit.
So my big trick for the longest time for surfers is I love the stretch. I take a yoga mat. So the yoga mat goes, if it's 2 of us, we'll put a yoga mat on the bottom. One end over the nose of the boards is usually 4 boards in a bag. And then the other yoga mat on the top over the back end.
Flipping it.
But we also shrink wrap the boards together so they're not sliding around in there, because once they start sliding around, that's when damage starts to happen.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, surfboards are like, literally they're like eggs, you can crack them so easy. So it's not easy, but I think that, the medical equipment is durable. We can't mix the two. That's the problem, because most of the, wheelchairs and walkers and all that stuff, they're all hard and metal, and like you can't put a surfboard next to that, because it's a done deal.
Well, so my fear would be doing what you guys do as a surfer, is that they load the boards up first.
And then throw
and then throw the wheelchairs on top. You're like, oh no, I saw this thing got loaded. And then the plane's going through turbulence, right? You're like, no.
Yeah, we've all seen them throw the boards off the plane before.
Oh, I've seen it cry. It's literally.
I see it.
Oh man, and some guys are really good with it. You watch some of these guys that they kind of take some care, and other guys are like, doesn't matter to me. It's just just something I got to pick up and throw. Let me see how far I can throw this thing. So
that's real good.
That's why I never took my scuba gear when I traveled. I would always rent scuba gear there. I'd take a mask and a snorkel, but I wouldn't take my BC or anything. Just trash it.
Yeah.
No, and the airlines, like I said, they've gotten better. There's certain ones that are really, really good about what they charge you now. It's almost the same cost as a regular bag. But man, back in the early days, it was brutal.
Yeah.
It's like, surfboard guys are coming. Here comes my commission for the month.
Yeah.
I'm just going to tell them that's an extra $900 a board in the bag. Oh, you got 4 in there? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, they'll get you too.
Like
they open that bag up.
Open up, counting the boards.
Yeah. I can't remember how many times, and I hope God doesn't get mad at me at the gates. How many boards you got in there? Just one? Just one. There's a lot of packing around.
Got a lock on it. Take my word for it.
It's locked.
Can't open it.
Are you sure that just one?
It's so good.
I ran into, we were going out of Orlando, and it was like a one check bag, and so one of the buddies had all of his stuff in his board bag and in a backpack. So he didn't have a check bag. So I handed him my bag, and I said, I'll pay whatever, yours is free. So I walk up with a surfboard bag, and I'm like, this is my only bag. And they're like, oh, well, that's free. The 3 other guys I was with are all looking at me like I was like a Jedi Knight. These are not the boards you're looking for, right? And I mean, they're like, okay. So I'm trying it on the way back from Costa Rica, which is same setup, right?
Yeah.
And I put that up and I said, so this is my check bag. And she looked at me and said, no.
No, it's not.
Not going to happen.
And I said, well, I got it one way. I can't complain. I got it from Orlando down there. So I was like, yeah, but people were like, how did you do that? I don't know how I did. I just asked. They said, yes.
Sometimes.
I channeled
Sometimes it
my
works.
inner Todd. It was not a wheelchair, but I managed to do it.
It
got
looks
that
like
right.
the audience really wants to hear some all rights.
What are we
we've
up to?
got $250 have been donated
Heck
to
yeah,
Todd's
that's pretty sick.
fundraiser.
All right, you guys keep going. Get me over 300. Get me over 300
Come on.
because I'm going to give them some money. I'm not telling you how much I'm giving them, but I'm going to give them some
Oh,
money.
wow,
on the
here
show,
we
too.
go.
So, but
Take
yeah.
it.
Yeah. So we're definitely just got to get me to 300 so we can get there. So
All right.
Amanda's going to keep checking.
I'll keep
And
checking.
then if there's any other phrases you want Todd to say, you just need to. We need to bring
That
Todd.
is so dangerous.
You just
Open
need to record.
invitation.
Barbara Jean, I love you, Barbara Jean, followed by anything else is no. We can do the I love you, Barbara Jean, but all the rest of it is no.
Oh, my word.
He's not going to say he loves the Vikings.
That's just mean.
I know. I'm kidding. I'd pay for Barbara Jean to be able to hear that from
You know, selfish plug again. Amanda, you mentioned you like scuba, right? And there's been talk, and I've been wanting to find an inn. You know, you gotta have an inn in an area, but an Honduras location would be great for a scuba trip like this.
Yeah.
Because the scuba diving there apparently is phenomenal. I haven't been, but if you know anyone that's an inside local of Honduras, maybe we could put
I
together
know
a scuba trip.
Hawaiians, scuba. I don't know Honduras, but I can ask.
Yeah, well,
I can ask.
heck, we can go anywhere. It doesn't have to be Honduras, but that would be a fun trip, I think. Yeah.
Bert, I got an Olympic question because I think you've been watching. You sent me a text the other day. How did John do on the first day?
Well, John went through, but
Okay.
I didn't get a chance to see the second round was elimination, and today I had to leave to come here, and it was like a fourth heat, but all the Goofy Foots had won. I don't know if he was in one of those before, but they didn't mention it.
Okay.
Wow.
So I think he came after that, but I'm rooting for John to win it.
He's
Medina,
they're good.
Medina.
I mean, at that level,
Medina
they're
was
all
awesome.
amazingly good.
Yeah, he was calling a 10,
Mhm.
calling for 10. They gave him a 9.8. But
Was there a Russian judge there? Because the Russian judge always give you like a 7.5.
yeah, no. It's legitimate chopu today.
Yeah.
Big.
So one of the guys, Amanda says, we're only $50 away. You guys can do this. Andy, I normally wouldn't get somebody that with a Matthew McConaughey voice to go Dogs, because I'm afraid he would sue us because he's a huge Longhorn fan.
Oh, yeah.
But I know they play you this, Andy. So just $50 will get you a Go Dogs, and you can replay that for all your friends from Texas.
You know, I don't know. You curse me if you don't want me to do this, but I was telling Bert before we went live. I actually had a charcoal rubber grill donated to me that I'm going to auction off with this here fundraiser.
Mm-hmm.
So what I was going to do is, every $20 that someone will donate, you're going to get an entry for a Weber grill. So
Nice.
I probably should have said that at the beginning.
Yeah.
It just dawned on me. I haven't really pushed that out, yet to tell everyone. But if you, in retrospect, if you've already donated it and that entry is $20 plus, $40 would be 2 entries. I'll put you in a raffle for a Weber grill. So if you're on the fence right now and you're like, oh man, I want to give, but I don't know. Well, heck, you might get a Weber grill out of this. Let's go. Or Weber if you're from South Africa.
Weaver.
That's too funny. All right, so you guys leave, and when do you leave?
August 21st.
August 21st. Okay. So yeah, that should you guys are the only bad thing about going to Central America this time of year is you never know what the weather's going to be like.
Absolutely. We've 2 or 3 times. 3 times gotten stuck in El Salvador because the storm's coming here.
Yeah.
Yeah. The team, you remember I mentioned, depending on the team.
Yeah.
So, we've been going strong, and then we have these locations set up where everybody's. Actually, it happened last year.
Yeah.
Our last day, a few of us had to leave early. I stayed, and we had the largest. I think we'd seen almost 300 people that day with half the team.
Mm-hmm.
We just went hammer time, and sometimes it happens. But
Well, and it is because you never know. We were down in Costa Rica one time in March, and that ice storm hit Houston.
oh wow, yeah.
Right, so I'm sitting there like 2 days before we're supposed to come back, and it hits me. There's an ice storm in Houston. We're supposed to be there in 2 days.
Mhm.
And I looked at my buddies. I said, we have got to rebook flights, and we got to go through Miami because we're not. And one of the guys did not want to spend the money. And so I just looked at him and I said, I tell you what. I said, we're going to get to Houston, and it's going to be a mess. It's going to take 3 or 4 days to untangle all the airline and people that are stuck there are waiting to get there. And I said, all the hotels are full because all the houses that lost water and power, they're in hotels. So you're going to sleep in the airport for at least a day.
Absolutely.
And he thought about it for about 30 seconds and came back and said, okay, book me through Miami. I'm like, we're not doing this. We just go. We got to get back home.
Oh, man.
But I had another trip, business trip planned one time, and there was a hurricane coming. It was supposed to hit St. Augustine the day we were supposed to leave.
Yeah.
To go to Rhode Island. It was supposed to hit Rhode Island the day we were supposed to leave and come back home. So my wife and I looked at each other. We got no chance of making both of these, right? We just got to bail out of this trip now because that's just asking the weather gods just too much luck in there. So we didn't go, and the weather turned out to be pretty good in Rhode Island. Wasn't great here, but it was pretty good. I don't know if I would want to fly out on that, but yeah, are we there?
We've got Todd's up to $300.
Okay.
Heck yeah.
So it started at 15,
Mhm.
I believe it was, and so now it's up to 300.
Okay. All right. Is there any
That's
phrases
good.
that
Good,
people
Todd.
have wanted?
I'm seeing all right.
all right.
I'm seeing go
We're gonna-
dogs.
So before you do that, what age were you when people started coming up to you and go, "Oh my God, you sound just like Matthew McConaughey"?
I think it started mostly in high school. I was a track and field athlete, and the girls on the track team would walk up to me and say that. He'd go, you remind me so much of this guy. I didn't know who he was, to be honest. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
So you didn't watch Dazed and Confused.
It took me a long time before I saw that movie.
Yeah.
But I think that was his first shining moment, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Then everyone sends me every Matthew McConaughey video that you see on social media. I mean, I get to watch it because it's like, hey, Todd, look at you talking.
Yeah.
And then when I started, I was in education, and then when I'm teaching, if it's a younger class, inevitably I'll be lecturing, and I'll see like a little hand creep up, and I'm in the middle of a professional discussion, and then they're like, "Can you just say all right for me?" I'm like, I am teaching right now. Okay. So,
Well,
You did get their attention.
it's so funny to do that, right? So Darcy and I go see a movie with Mel Gibson is in What Women Want, right?
Yeah.
And the female lead in it, her name is Darcy.
oh, wow.
And Darcy's not a common name, so it was just really kind of. We laughed, and I'm like, "How'd you like the movie?" She said, "I loved it. It's the best movie I've ever seen." Every time he said her name, I just thought it was the most wonderful thing in the entire world.
Hey, Darcy,
Like,
let's go.
we're not women that
Darcy.
read that movie at all.
Darcy.
No, it was really, really funny.
Yeah,
So
it was
it was
good.
just, you just kind of got to laugh about those things, but and it's just, it would be, if I ever saw him somewhere, I would walk up to him and I go, you sound just like this guy, Todd. Could you show me how to help somebody? Because he can do that. I just want to see if you can do that. Just to get him, right? I have somebody filming the whole thing. I've got this kind of injury. What would you do? Because Todd would know what to do with that. And you pretend like you know.
That's so good. That's the Dave Slim
Yeah, let
pajamas.
him-
It's so perfect. I
Let
love
him
it.
play Todd.
Yes. So I just want to know, you can go to a country and save all these people. I know you got the voice like him, but I just don't think you can do all the rest of it.
That's great.
See,
man.
that's why you came in today, just to get that little bump, just
to
feel
give me a
good.
bump. I'm
Yes.
feeling great. I'm ready. Ready now. I'm all set.
You're set? Are we ready?
We're good.
All right, so all of you, this will be the segment. We'll get Todd to say his signature phrase before it was borrowed and misappropriated by somebody who's made millions of dollars.
Let's go. All right.
There you go.
That's it. Way to be Todd.
But I swear, the phrase, no one probably asked you to do that in El Salvador or Nicaragua.
They
and
do
it-
not. You are correct.
Yeah, they're just like,
No.
man, that guy's got such a funny voice and an
Yeah.
accent. And he's not from around here.
Yeah.
No, they don't. There's no one asked me that question, actually. That's a good point.
How is your Spanish?
Oh, poco. Like, very little. I struggle. I barely speak English, right? Because I grew up down south, Farm Boy, Louisiana. I struggled with English, still struggle with English. So my Spanish is pretty rough. But I can pantomime like a sun gun, man. I can act it out.
Yeah.
I can get things.
He's
I can
got
get
that. You've got that app.
yeah. Bring it
Speaking
out
of the
if I have to,
phone.
yeah.
Well,
Bring
the,
it
app
to your
is,
phone.
the app is a huge help in breaking down those communication barriers.
It
Right?
is.
And the last few years especially. And it's such because you want to talk to people, but I don't know. There's a lot of things I can do.
Yeah.
But speak a second language is not one of them. I've had a lot of years of Spanish. I think I had 2 in high school and 2 in college. Been down there. It's taken me years of being in the community just to get marginally bad at it. And I'm like you. I tell people I speak Southern. I don't even speak English. I speak Southern. Which is a dialect. If you want a Southern, I can do that. Yeah. And I'll come up with a phrase every once in a while. Where did you get that from? Well, that's just how I heard it pronounced when I was a kid growing up, right?
That's right.
That was it, you know? And people are like, that's not how you say it in English. I didn't say I was speaking English.
I didn't say I was speaking English.
Where did I tell you that?
Yeah, that's so
no, I think that's one of the things. But I have a hard time, and I can hear sometimes the Spanish words in my brain.
Mm-hmm.
But when my mouth goes to utter them, I don't know what language I was trying to speak. I have no idea. I'm murdered. I was so bad. In my brain, I'm like, I got this. And then I speak, and it's like there's this disconnect between the two.
So what are the dates of the trip so that all of our viewers can be praying for very generous customs workers?
Very much so. If you could be on the dial praying for us, August 21st will be the main day. Okay. And then, obviously safety throughout the trip. The team, collaborating and working and getting all through that. I mean, El Salvador is much, much safer than what it used to be when I first started going. There was a gang problem and all that stuff. I mean, phenomenal stories and things I've seen. I mean, we literally had a truck full of men show up with AKs and crazy. And I'm just like, oh my God, I just brought all these people here and they're about to murder everyone, and it's terrifying. And then before you know it, they're lined up and they're actually on the treatment tables getting work from us. And they actually wanted us there. And I was just like,
did they leave the weapons outside or was it sitting right next to them?
They whip them off, hand it off to their buddy, and then they'd go get on the treatment table.
Wow.
I tell you what, and again, if it wasn't for prayer, I mean, I don't know. This is all, like I said, it all started on a tractor. I was, just by myself thinking, and, the good Lord started knocking on the door and said, hey, you should try to do this. I was like, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
But yes, 21st is a big day to get all this equipment in. Mm-hmm. We'll be getting on a plane. What time is it? Like noon, I think we start boarding somewhere around there. Okay. That'd be fantastic. Yeah. And then again, safety for the rest of the trip is just us. Okay. How much endurance do we have as a team to keep going every day is really what it boils down to.
Okay.
We need to get you a Dazed and Confused t-shirt. And let you walk up with a Dazed and Confused t-shirt without one. And I tell you, you won't pay for anything.
That's good.
No, what he needs to do is have everybody else have Matthew McConaughey movie t-shirts that walk in front of him, and that way they all think it's him.
Yes. Yeah.
Program, they're like,
yeah.
You look much taller. Yeah, all us Hollywood actors get that. Yeah, every one of us get that. We just look big on the screen. What can I tell you?
I know.
Hey, I'm still 6 inches taller than Tom Cruise.
That's great.
Crazy.
I know it, man. That's a good one though. But I do appreciate. I mean, Bert would attest to that too. I think it would be phenomenal to have that energy behind us when we show up there.
Absolutely.
It really we need all the help we can get. Like I said,
there's
always some angel that helps us. We have somebody trying to stop you. So
yeah.
Well, first of all, Bert and I had dinner this weekend. Bert said, hey, we're going to get Todd on the show. And we were running out of time because we only had, this was literally the only show we had. So I was so grateful that we could get you on because I'm gone for a little bit of time with the Christian Surfers, and then we come back and we got to do this election stuff. I don't know if your mailbox has been full. I mean, my mailbox is ready to quit this election cycle.
Done.
Yeah, I have a stack over here. I'm going to stack them up. I think it's going to be about this tall whenever I get to the end of all the
junk mail, isn't it? Look at it.
Oh my God, I get 7 a day right now.
Looking down at it.
There it is, right over there.
It's going to be taller than the desk in another week.
Yeah.
It's just, and some of the ads are okay. Some of the ads I'm like, ouch, that hurts.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like that.
It is that year.
Yeah. And we still have time to go. Good luck in your trip.
Man,
come back and bring some pictures and stuff that you want to show. Come back and tell us how it went. And,
I think it
let
would be
us
fantastic.
know. Yeah.
I would love to come do that.
Yeah. Come back and tell us, hey, this is how many people were able to help. This is where we went. Here's Bert in the biggest barrel that anybody caught while we were down
You're
there.
hoping. Hey, I'll take it.
Yeah.
He'll go straight to the point, man. He'll get it.
Yeah.
That's great.
And you're going to be east coast of El Salvador this year, right?
Yeah, we're staying in more the El Tunco area.
Okay.
We're actually staying at a spot right in front of Ocana, which is their famous left.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's really...
You goofy foot or regular foot?
I'm actually regular.
Okay.
But I like I mean, I don't mind getting barrel.
I'm ready to
book
go
on it.
backside.
I can go backside on that barrel. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
I'll be ready to go
The
backside.
place we go in Costa Rica, Marbella, there's occasionally it's just all left. It doesn't matter how you try to
Yeah.
find it right, you just can't find it right. My buddy's a goofy foot. He's like, "Oh, it's the best day," and I'm like, "Yeah, it's really good." How many rights did you get? Not a
None.
one. Not a one. Not one right. I didn't get close to it. The one I took off on, I was halfway down the face and I hit a rib, and it's like I got blown up. So I said I didn't go right anymore. I just kept going left.
And that's
So yeah, it's just those are surfers get that. But anyway, yeah, do tell David Slimp that what I said about the pajamas. Give him a hard time about that.
I can't
so.
wait to show him this clip. I mean, that's the man.
All right, Todd, thank you very much.
No, thank you.
You guys
Appreciate
good
you,
luck. We'll
man.
be praying for you guys.
Thank y'all
Bert,
for your time.
always
Thanks,
good, brother.
Mike.
Yep.
Thanks for
I
getting
will
us
see you
on
guys.
here.
We'll be back tomorrow night with Davey. It's movie review night.
Yep.
The final countdown.
Mm-hmm.
So I did watch it
Wow.
on Saturday. Have
Yeah.
you watched it yet?
Tonight.
you're doing it Mike Davis version,
Yes.
right? I've actually done it the day of.
Yeah.
And have my computer lock up. All right. Thank you all very much. Give generously to this group. They're doing an amazing job. And
Thank you.
we'll
Thank
see
y'all.
you guys tomorrow.
Yep. Bye.
Appreciate it.